Hello everyone. In this video, we'll continue exploring the second component of LangSmith, which is evaluation. Earlier, we learned about building a ground truth golden dataset. Um, Today, we'll continue the topic and learn about evaluators and experiments. Before that, let's learn some theory. Let's say you have this golden dataset and you have your version V1 of the model. Now, when you run this model on this data set, you get some metrics, accuracy and hallucination and so on. Now, let's say I have added new prompts or modified the existing prompts in this V1, so it becomes version V2 of my model. And when I use this to test on my data set, I get an accuracy of 90% and an hallucination of 10%. So there's an overall improvement using these two metrics when I move from version V1 to V2. So these runs or tests are in essence called the experiments, right? Experiment 1 and 2. So you can run multiple experiments and each one helps you gauge how much better or worse is each model getting. So these can be changes to your prompts, changes to the underlying model, the architecture, or anything for that matter. Now we'll learn about running these exact experiments in the next video. But today we'll explore what these metrics are and how we can create them. So in LangSmith, we call these the evaluators, and these are your usual metrics such as accuracy, correctness, conciseness, hallucination, and so on. So let's see how this works, right? So you have your golden data set. It has your input and it has your reference output, and these are ground truth outputs, right? Meaning for this question, irrespective of which model you use in between, you always expect this answer. Now, using the same question, you also run your experiment using the any version of your model, right? So you have the input, use the model, and you get your run output. So the input is same. Uh, for the golden data set, you have your reference output, and for the actual output using the model, you have your run output. Now what happens is you take your input, reference output, and the run output to calculate metrics. So this helps you measure the performance of the model against the ground truth data sets. So let's move to LangSmith and see how we can build these evaluators. So here under evaluation, we built these data sets. This was the one we were working on. So let's go into this data set. And here on the top right, you have the option to build evaluators. So these evaluators are built for this particular data set, right? Now, if I go back, you won't see this option because the evaluators are fixed or attached to a particular data set. Now, if you go into evaluator, there are two ways to do create your evaluators. One is LLM as a judge, and second is code. Let's go into the code one first. These are effectively your Python-based code, right? It doesn't use any underlying LLM, so you can. It's a traditional way of comparing text or your outputs with an answer and seeing how well it matches or no meets your needs. Now, so let's try and build a simple one. We can give it a name. We'll come to that later. But yeah, so you have an input run. You have an input example. And this example, if you know from our previous videos, you will know that this example relates to one of the examples from the data set. So, and this is for a RAG-based application for a cafe chatbot. So this is the question, this is the answer, and here is your input run. And what I mean by input run is this particular experiment. So let's build a metric here. So you take in the run input and you have your example as well. So let's say I have the score here, and what I can do is from my run, I'll take the outputs, right? I'll take the outputs and from this output let me take the output value, and I'll compare this to the output from the example. So I have my outputs here, and I have my, what is this, answer here, where I'm accessing the answers field. So let's say I pass on the same question to this input, and I pass on the same answer to my output, and the output would be an int of this. So here I'm comparing the two outputs. It's going to be it's going to give me a boolean answer, true or false, and I'm going to return the int value of it. So if it's correct, it's going to be 1, and if it's wrong, it's going to be 0. I can test the code here. As you can see, it's 1. So this is a simple Python match, right? Now let's say I just remove or change some bits here and test the code again. It should give me 0. Perfect, right? So this is a simple comparison where you can still rely on your basic Python code. But here, what I'll just do is I'll compare the length of it, right? I'm not going to do an exact match because this is a RAG-based application. So I might not get the exact answer that I have in my reference output. There could be some matches to the exact phone numbers and email ID, but I might not get exactly the same. So it does not make sense to sort of use an exact comparison here. What I'll do is I'll compare the output of the run. It has to be less than the length of my mm, uh, example. So let's say if I get an exact answer, um, let me test this. So if the length is less, it's going to give me 1, and let's say I'm just going to paste some more bits here. Oops. I'm just going to add some more bits here, and if the length is, it's going to give me 0, right? So let's call this the conciseness. Conciseness for my RAG application. Um, and I can save this. So that's going to create one evaluator. The name is given here, type is code, feedback key, modified and create, and so on, right? Let's create one more. We'll go into the LLM as judge, but let's look at some examples here. Some pre-built evaluators, which are the LLM as judge effectively. Let's look at correctness, for example, right? Now you have your name here. As I said, it uses an LLM under the hood, and here it's using OpenAI's models. We can go here, modify some parameters, and obviously you can change the underlying model, the provider, and the model here. Let's stick to OpenAI's for the time being. Now, correctness, what this does is compare the two, but since it's an LLM, it's not doing an exact match, right? You can ask it to do so, but um, it starts with a system prompt and some rubric and instructions. And if you just try to learn it quickly, it says a correct answer is provide accurate and complete information, contains no factual errors. When scoring, you should penalize factual errors. So it's not asking you to do an exact match. It's asking you to see if the information provided in the answer matches the reference answer, right? So it fits into three sort of fields here. You have your input, which is from your question. It has the reference output from the reference answer, and the actual output. Now that's not here, but when you get an output, that is going to be the field. Um, so if you go here, that is what we are effectively doing here, right? You have your input, reference output, and the actual output, and this is where the evaluator sort of compares all of them. So that's what is happening here, and then you come to the feedback. It's going to give it as true or false, true if it is logically consistent and so on, false if there is any factual errors. Oops. Uh, and the output is a boolean, so it's going to give 1 or 0. Now we can obviously go here and um, save this as our um, evaluator, and here you can see the type is LLM as a judge. Let's see one more example. Let's see conciseness. This is what we try to do it within the Python code as well. Again, a different set of um, rubric instructions, but here if you see, you have an output and an output. uh, it's not necessarily comparing against the reference output, it is just gauging the consistency of your answer, so you don't need to pass that reference output. One more thing you can do here is click on this and change the field or change the mapping. Now of course within the input I just have my question, but let's say I have question 1 and question 2 and no different field for that matter. And similarly under reference output, maybe there are other outputs I am getting, but I need to refer only a specific one. Maybe there's metadata here. So what I can do is I can go here and choose input dot question. So here input and question field. In this case it's going to be the same irrespective of what I use because it's just one field, but otherwise I can also do this. Here I don't need the output node or the output field. I meant to say I don't need the reference output. So the run output is going to be just the output, but if there was a reference field I can obviously say reference output dot answer. And here in the feedback configuration we can see the output is not boolean but a score, and of course you can change it to anything we want, but I think conciseness 0 to 10 would be a more accurate way. It's 0 is for verbose and 10 is for essentially what was requested, right, with no extra words. So conciseness, let's also call it drag and save this. I think we should have called it a different one, but yeah. So you have one from code. Oops. Okay, it gives you an overview. But if you come back here and go to evaluators, you have one consistency from code and one is from your LLM as a judge. So this is how we create evaluators. In the next video we'll see how we can use these evaluators to run this experiment using different versions of the model. So this is what we'll be doing in the next video, run different examples and see and gauge which version of the model is the best one. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching.